to the Liverpool Community Podcast. I'm your host, Chase Johnson Lynch. And, once again, I'm talking to someone from the community that I feel is very interesting. I feel that you'll find interesting as well and everything. And this gentleman actually, has some time on, well, let's say he has some time on his ears. So we're going to really go back.
Yeah.
But we're joined by Tim Blackburn, also known as Mistrust. How you doing, Tim?
I'm fine. Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, great. Hey, I mean, we did, we always do a pre-interview and everything. Phil joined in and stuff like that. That made it go for an hour. But either way, no, it didn't go for an hour. It went for longer than that.
It was a long
But
time.
either way, again, it's because Phil usually interviews the music artists and everything like
Yeah.
that. And I mean, I like to interview them as well because, first of all, I mean, when I say go way back, I mean you said your music style is more like 80s electro
Yeah.
pop kind of thing. You gave us examples like Gary Newman and Kraftwerk, and I'm like, oh my God, those are the years that I was like DJing way back in the day. And then you was talking about Trans Europe Express, and you knew what I meant.
Yeah, I do. Love it.
You know what I
Absolutely
mean?
love
I
it,
mean,
yeah.
like, rarely, I'm telling Phil, rarely is somebody in the chair that knows what I'm talking about. It's a reference-free holiday. But Phil met you at one of our Big Condo Weekender festivals.
That's right.
That you performed at and everything, to ship a forecast. But you also performed for Big Condo before in refreshments. But how was that for you? Like, because, performing your style of music at the festival.
It was great. Absolutely loved it. I haven't really performed that often before, and it's just a brilliant experience. I'm really grateful for Big Condo for giving me the chance to play there, meet some great people, network, and just get a chance to perform my music to people.
Well, what I think is great is that Big Condo is intergenerational. I mean, like in this town, Liverpool, we all love Liverpool, but it's always young bands, and everything and stuff like that. And you got to respect all the artists, right, Phil? Yeah. That's why Phil gets to play sometimes. You know what I mean?
True story.
True story. But, but, okay, I'm sorry.
Cheeky swine.
All right, I know. Now you made me lose my place, Phil. I'm neurodiverse. So anyway, what I wanted to ask you first about is a particular song, one of your new songs that is out. I mean, I think it's already been out, but one of the new songs that's been out, which I thought was interesting, because it's a song about trains and stuff like that, and train spotting, but not really, called Yellow and Gray.
That's right. Yeah.
But I want you to tell me about the song and the inspiration of the song,
Yeah.
but also the fact that you're going to donate some of the proceeds of the song to charity.
That's right. Yeah.
Tell us all about that.
Yeah. Well, I've always been into trains and always been into music, and I guess I wanted to write some pop songs after doing lots of other things. And I thought, what better things to combine than the things I like best? And also because I like the Kraftwerk song Trans Europe Express. I like some poetry about sort of famous poetry. One particular called From a Railway Carriage by Robert Louis Stevenson. So I wanted to combine lots of different elements in there. So, and because I've been on a lot of the trains around Merseyside area, which are all yellow and grey, and that sort of gave me the inspiration and the theme of the particular song. I wanted to make it catchy because I wanted to try and see if I could write a catchy pop song. So I gave it a beat that was sort of sounding a bit like the movement of a train and the noise. I combined some of the noises from the trains in there, and a catchy chorus, because I'd sort of been sort of studying other people's pop songs. I think the band OMD from Wirral actually sort of listened to lots of their songs and found out how the songs were constructed.
Yeah.
To get that sort of feel and put it all together. It took me, I don't know, a long time to put it together, to pull in and out different bits and to work on it. And also, I think when it finally came together, I played to my family. They liked it. Everyone started to catch it. My family were singing along to it. My grandchildren were started singing along to it, which was weird. I even made a video for it. Went round on the trains with my stepson, videoing things like that. So I made a pop music video for it.
So it wasn't a train spotting video.
It wasn't train spotting. It's not like the film Train Spotting, but like that. But no, it's just and people watched it. People thought it was great. And I found out that the trains in Merseyside that it was all about are being retired.
I think you said there's only about like 5 left, didn't you?
Yeah, there's only a few left now. There were loads. They've got all the nice shiny new trains coming in. But
Really?
but I found
you think
out.
we're gonna get them bullet trains now?
Oh, I wish they were, but they're more like trams, I think. You know.
Oh.
So some people like them, some people don't, I think. So I've been on one today coming here. But I found out that there's a group of people trying to save one of the old trains, I think the class 507 trains for anyone who knows.
It's just the Restoration Society.
The Restoration, yeah, the class 507 Preservation Society. I sort of was a bit cheeky and said to them, well, do you mind if I sort of, help out promoting and things like that, raising money for the society, because they were sort of registered as a trust or something like that.
Yeah.
They said, yeah, go for it. I produced some sort of CDs with the song and a few other tracks on there, and basically said, can I donate some money from the sales? And because of the publicity from there, and because of people getting hold of the idea about the train, the connection, presume a lot of sort of train fans, people into nostalgia and transport history and things like that, bought the CD. The crazy thing was somebody in Australia sort of ordered one, because they're all on Bandcamp, the songs.
Yeah.
People have been going in HMV in Liverpool buying them and things like that. It's just gone crazy.
I think that's the fascinating thing is that it's not about your family and friends. It's great that they say they like it.
Yeah.
But it's all about those strangers from far, far away that are picking up on stuff.
Yeah.
When you put it out there in the universe, like Spotify, Bandcamp, and all that other kind of stuff. And going back, right? Because I thought it was really interesting is that, you were talking. I guess we all were talking about, the days of the old cassettes and the analog systems, and and how we used to have to like make mixtapes, by dubbing tracks, we had to hook, your devices up together like as mad scientists.
Tandy mixer.
That's absolutely right.
What do you have, like a Yamaha or a MIDI? And then I had you say Commodore 64. You said, "Ooh, Commodore 64." I was like, "Oh my God, he knows what I'm talking about." Then Phil tried to join in with the old punch cards that he doesn't even know they're called horror codes. But then, like, the thing about it is like, I said, "Yeah, I learned that in school." So it was like, it's been around before then.
That's right, yeah, it's great. I love stuff like that.
I know. I could tell you, because didn't you say you were an engineer or something like that by trade? Or?
Well, I was a learning technologist by trade, which I guess anything technology. My dad was a TV engineer in the 60s.
Yeah.
Shows how old I am now, and he had lots of gadgets, oscilloscopes and testing equipment.
I think what was funny was you said that he was working on black and white TVs and changing when they first were changing them over to color.
Yeah.
And that's when he discovered he was colorblind.
That's right, yeah. We're getting all these little sort of testing things where you could see the dots close up on the TV and he just couldn't tell which was red and green and things like that, trying to tell the difference. But he did it. He made it. He became a manager of the store, and which is great,
You know what I mean? You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, that's right.
So as most young people, you started out like wanting to make music, and like so it's always kind of like, hey, let's put a band together. So if I remember right, your brother and his friends started a band, and you ended up on the keyboards.
That's right. Yeah.
Everything.
I wanted to play along with him because he'd been in demand. He'd been really in demand with bands everywhere when we grew up, and I wanted to be part
did he have
of that.
one of those like looks? What period of time are we talking about? The long hair look?
80s, yeah. So, well, not quite longish, but
New Romantics.
He was more sort of
new wave of British
heavy metal. I think so, But he was always in demand with everybody. He played in rock bands, he played in punk bands, he played in everywhere. Because he had a really good guitar and He was a really good guitarist. He could pick
All
things.
right. Well,
He could pick things up like nobody's.
well, help us out, Tim. What was your
Yeah.
look? Because I mean, it sure wasn't this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, no glasses at the time, but sort of longish hair, sort of
Really?
quite. Obviously, I was taller than most people, I think, so I tend to stand out a bit, and
Yeah.
quite sort of fairly quiet and unassuming, really. Sort of wanted to be the person in the back, sort of.
Oh yeah,
Without the
you also
publicity.
you also
Not the Mark Elman.
No,
Van
no. I was the
yeah, but
manager
you
of the
also
band.
the hidden talent though. I think
Yeah.
because the way your career
yeah,
went,
yeah.
and stuff like that. But I think it's good to say that the band was called Ice Age.
That's right.
Just in
Yeah.
case if anybody's into that whole digging in the crates
Yeah.
kind of scenario and everything. But what I thought was really interesting here at this point was you were telling me how people were making music in their bedrooms and stuff like that. And like it made me think about, well, wait a minute, that's what kids are doing today. Are they still doing the same thing that they did back then? And really, the thing about it is, when I was telling you about that, I was like, well, what it is today we got TikTok, so we see them in the bedroom making
Yeah,
music.
that's
But
it.
back then we didn't have that, so we didn't know that's what they were doing.
That's right.
Would you say that's the
Yeah,
case?
that's right. I think people really didn't know what was going on. You could hear somebody playing the guitar and things like that in the bedroom next door, in the house next door.
Yeah.
But anything else, you had headphones on, you were really quiet about it, you didn't publicise it.
Yeah.
There was nowhere for people to sort of play.
And
And
that
I think it's the
creativity
same.
is always
Yeah,
there,
that's
wasn't
right.
it?
If you hooked up, I think electronic music, particularly the stuff I was into, it had only just started becoming popular apart from bands like Kraftwerk, and they were people, I think, long hair and nerds and things like that who were into it, and you could only access electronic music instruments in universities and things like that as well. So
Yeah.
if you wanted to make anything yourself, you just kept it to yourself, and
Well, I
you
mean,
weren't in a
like
band.
where I'm from, in Harlem and the Bronx, we had the beatbox, the echo chamber, all that other kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But you was talking about you was working on like things like Acid Pro,
yeah,
where you're like kind of
eventually,
like drag and drop samples.
yeah, that's it, yeah.
So I mean, sampling and remixing started to become your thing around here.
That's
Is
right,
that right?
yeah.
Because I had to tell Phil his own history after I mean, not Phil, but Tim. I had to tell Tim his own history after he told it to me because he forgot it.
Yeah, so much
But
going on. Yeah.
so
Think of
so
it.
what had happened was, you started sending these remixes out,
That's right, yeah.
like to people.
Yeah.
Just figured, hey, what the heck, and they liked it, and I think you sent it to a DJ actually,
Yeah.
at some Big Chill night, just like around 2009, just to keep us in sense of time.
Yeah.
But then what happened with that?
Well, he sort of suggested, he said, why didn't I try sending my music to these bands who were looking for remixes for their latest album, a band called Pitch Black.
And these
from
weren't
New
local.
Zealand.
That's the important
No,
thing.
it was in
what I want you to talk
it was in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Of all places like that, and the record company I think was in London, but the band was in New Zealand. Had
Yeah.
quite a bit of a following. They'd let people remix some of their tracks. I sent one off, one of my tracks, to the owner of the record label. He said, "We're not taking people on now for remixes, but if you're still interested in 6 months' time, give us a shout and let us know." So I waited and waited and waited.
Time machine.
Yeah, I waited and waited and waited. And then he said, I'll send you some tracks, decide which one you want. I picked the title track of the album, and they sent me all the stems for the track. And I worked on it for a few months, tried to get it right and sent it off. And they heard it and they went, wow, it's great, we like it.
Took
We'll
everything.
put it out. Yeah, it was great. It's
But
brilliant.
so was it like kind of like the whole album in a way, or
No, it's just
most of
it's
the
just one. It's just one track
Mm.
that they said they wanted different remixes. So I could pick one track, and somebody else picked another track, and things like that. I picked the track that I thought was the most up tempo and thing I could work with. Added my own bits in as well. So it's almost like deconstructing the whole track and building things up and put my own little style on it, and using dubby type, echoey type things and break beats and things like that to build
'Cause
it.
it was like
and,
dub and dance. You said,
yeah,
right?
that's it. Yeah, and put my own style on it, really, and not listening to other people's remixes, but trying to put my identity on it, I guess.
Well, see, the thing about it is, I think what's really cool about this, and that's why I wanted you to talk about it, because I mean, Royce does the same thing where he deals with artists from other countries and stuff like that. Is it the fact that because they're from another country, they already have a different style. So your style is already going to be unique to them because one, it'll be from probably the music that they're listening to.
Yeah,
Because they're listening more to the imported music that's coming over there.
yeah,
But then it's providing change to their music that they're producing, isn't it?
that's right. Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But then,
yeah.
if you don't take the risk, I mean, even though this guy offered you this band, but what I'm just trying to say, if people out there who are doing this, they, contact those other artists, man. I mean,
Yeah.
not just from your city, but from outside, internationally.
that's
and
right.
everything.
Yeah.
Because even though that was this one, you started doing that more and more, haven't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was.
I think you even had a surfing DVD.
Yeah, it was on the surfing. It was at the O'Neill Sportswear and surfing contest. So it got into
Why?
there. So because they
He's
wanted
making money, that's why.
well, they wanted somebody. They usually do sort of guitar band,
Beach Boys.
yeah, teenage rock band do music for surfing DVDs, and they wanted something a bit more different, sort of instrumental, and it ended up on I had 3 tracks, I think, on one of the surfing DVDs. It was great. I went down to the local O'Neill store in Manchester, and it was playing on the thing. I even got the DVD, and it was great,
I just think that's amazing because
Yeah.
I mean, here you are writing your own music, trying to get out there, but then you ended up over this period of time co-writing on about 9 different foreign tracks.
That's right, yeah, different remixes for different people. I think the biggest one was Tom Bailey from Thompson Twins and the dub thing.
Now.
So yeah, absolutely, yeah. So work with your heroes if you can do. It's great.
Yeah, well, my hero,
Yeah.
you're working with my hero. See, look at that. We're of the same age and
Yeah.
generation. That's why.
That's right. It's great.
Stuff.
What's their name again? Tim? What's he marking himself as then?
It was going under the name of International Observer. Yeah, and Tom Bailey, because he did sort of
You didn't go
Dub-
into
dub-
Thompson
dub-
Twins.
no dub type stuff. I think it was. So and I think he was sort of when Thompson Twins had split up and everything. He was doing different things.
Yeah.
And the track was called Popcorn Slavery. And
Popcorn.
I did the remix, and even then, it got picked up by a compilation album producer in
it's kind of like
Canada.
who won't want that on
Yeah.
the list? Popcorn Slavery. Okay,
weird.
there you go.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
another one.
there you go.
I mean,
So-
it's already you got deep fried dubs. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, nobody.
I know, it's crazy.
Which you call deep fried ducks.
Sucks.
All right. I said it right this time.
I'll tell them. I'll tag them in. I'd love it.
Yeah, man, I'm dealing with John Carpenter over here. You're
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. John
You
Carpenter.
fantasise about Chinese food is what
Yeah, all right. But
Yeah, it's
I
great.
thought this was an interesting story that you shared. It was like, in your early times of doing this. So, would you say like people started headhunting you around now, and stuff like that, where it's like, because you said that somebody wanted you to go down, to London to do a
Yeah.
recording, and then you thought, yeah, well, if it's only for a couple hours, sure.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
What happened?
That's right. Yeah, it was. I think around doing the remixes and bits and bobs, people started. Not quite, I suppose, noticing me really, but
That's what headhunting means.
Yeah, I suppose they did. Yeah, and asking me to do different things, work on different projects. But again, this producer sort of wanted me to go down to London. He said it's for a week, but we just had a baby and other family commitments, so I couldn't really sort of
So you
commit
chose
to it.
family over,
Yeah.
you
Just
know.
having a young family, I think. So.
No, and I mean, I think that's honorable and stuff like that, but it's like, but how did that also make you feel that, like, because even now, you didn't take, I wouldn't say you didn't take well to the word headhunting, but that is what it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's like,
Yeah, you're right.
like
Yeah.
somebody's recognizing your talent
Yeah.
and wants you to participate. So how did that feel for you, do you think?
It was great, it was a real honour. But I always think as well, why do people want to listen to my music? Or
Because
why
they
do people? Because they do, and it's always that sort of sort of deprecating sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. But it was great, It was a real good feeling, and other opportunities came up, I think, and things wouldn't be like they are today if I'd have done that. I may have gone on a different path, sort of thing of music. Really, that's how I look at
Well,
it in a way.
I kind of like
Maybe,
looked at
yeah.
it as like when I wrote it down. It's kind of like you're working with bands like most people never heard of, but they're very popular in their regions
Yeah, that's right.
and
Yeah.
lanes. So it's like they're still popular. They're still not only they're still a band, they still using your music and they still are paying you. So
That's right. Yeah.
you know that's kind of like where you go, hey, yeah, whatever. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Family and friends
Yeah.
always like
That's
to
right. Yeah.
diminish what you do, don't they?
Yeah.
And stuff. I often say that people don't hate on my family, but again, I equated you to like John Carpenter, who I'm a huge fan of. Because he's big synth master and everything, and when he does his shows, he's out there, lights down low, whatever, with lights, spotlights, and he really just kind of like pressing buttons on the mini.
Yeah.
You were talking about this and stuff. Like you do a little bit more, or it's the same.
Yeah, I think I try these days to write all the bits myself and play all the parts. And I think with the remixes, it was using other people's music and adding bits to it, or the original recordings, adding bits. And I felt as though I wanted to play more. I
Mm-hmm.
even, people still ask me, how would you make that music? If I'm playing live or something like that, because they think I'm just pressing a button and playing. But yeah, I just write
But
as
it's more
much.
than pressing a button, though. Is
Yeah, it
what I'm
is.
trying to say,
That's
right?
right.
I
Yeah,
mean, because like
yeah,
we know many of artists who do this, and like we're loving the music when we're listening to
yeah.
it. But it's more than just pressing a button because
Mm,
it's like it's not just the rhythm of the button, but it's
that's
like
right.
timing or whatever
Yeah, of
and all
course,
that other kind of
absolutely.
stuff.
Yeah,
I could press a button and it won't sound the same.
yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If I
yeah,
don't know
yeah,
how it works, you
yeah.
know what I mean? It
Mm.
don't. So you got to give it more respect than
Yeah,
that.
of
But
course it does.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
obviously, I think they try to like put a little. I mean, because I think when I look at the John Carpenter show, it's always about the backgrounds.
that's right. Yeah,
Because it's his movie theme soundtracks.
yeah,
So they'll put like imagery up, and then like, oh yeah, I recognize the thing, or
yeah, yeah,
Assault on Precinct
mm,
13. So I'm just loving it
yeah,
just
of
because I'm
course.
hearing the music, seeing the image, and knowing that that's John up there on the stage.
Yeah, absolutely. I
You
think
know?
it's all about identity and putting your own mark on it
Yeah.
and things like that. And I think I've found over the years that I have a certain style, whether it's it's me, my personality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So then, like, you became part of, I think he called it a movement around
yeah, yeah.
2017, the EMOM movement.
That's
So it's
right.
not
Yeah.
the emo movement,
No,
Not quite emo,
no, not
no.
quite emo. No,
not quite.
maybe there are some
So
emos
please
in there,
explain
but
it, the EMO
yeah,
movement,
that's right. Yeah,
EMOM movement.
yeah, that's it.
So it was electronic music, open mic. Is that
That's
right?
the right.
That was
Yeah,
right.
that's the one.
Yeah, electronic music open
Yeah,
mic.
yeah.
So I mean, like you, so what is when you say movement? Are these like showcases around that you've played at, or you're part of, or what's your involvement?
I played at the very first one. It was just basically a group of musicians. Well, one person in particular who'd used little synths and things like that. Couldn't find anywhere to play in general open mic nights because it was all guitar bands and singers.
And then he's
And
coming out with his like
yeah, it's coming out with
scooter.
a little computer thing and
Where
pressing
can I
buttons
plug
and
in?
things. Yeah, exactly. Where can plug in? Even people didn't have anywhere for him to plug in, and got frustrated, got booed off. Got like-minded people together, put on a night in Manchester, in I think 2015, 2017, something like that.
2017.
Yeah, and got everyone together. People who were interested in electronic music who just wanted to play. And since then, well, I played at the first one, played a couple more, and it's just ballooned. It's just gone crazy. There are EMOMs all over the country, all over the UK. There are EMOMs in Canada and Australia and things like that.
It's just
And
an
it just
acronym that just doesn't
yeah,
work for you.
I
These
know.
imams are all
EMOM.
over the
Everyone
place.
calls it EMOM.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but these
It's
imams
a,
are all over the place.
it's
Get
a,
it?
it's a,
Imam.
yeah, EMOM.
These
Yeah.
imams all
Yeah.
over the place.
So it's a weird thing,
Yeah,
but
weird
again,
acronyms.
it gives people the chance who wouldn't normally have the chance to play,
Yeah.
whether just noodling songs or
I
whatever.
think I think I think it sounds rather cool actually
Yeah.
because there'll be I mean, because especially in listening to old Kraftwerk.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like when they first came out, they were kind of like one of the first to come out with that whole electronic
Yeah, that's
stuff and
right. Yeah.
everything. And I remember seeing some of their early work and everything, and that was really interesting.
Yeah.
But like basically, come up to the present, like around March 23rd, you made your comeback.
Yeah.
You said you come back after 7 years. Um, Tell us what that was all about.
Yeah, because I'd sort of written a few songs and people seemed to like them, but I'd always wanted to play live, apart from the EMOMs a few years ago, which was just doing the remix of stuff. I hadn't played for a long, long time live or in a band or whatever. I'd never really sung in front of an audience before,
Yeah.
So I just sort of thought I'd like to give it a go. I wanted to give it a go. I'd played at one of the EMOMs, sung my songs, got quite an okay reaction, but I wanted to see if I could actually stand up in front of an audience and actually do it and play the songs, which is more important to me, just to prove that I could do it, really. Which is great. I loved it. I love getting in front of an audience. I'm quite a sort of shy and retiring sort of person normally, I suppose. But
Well,
being
Phil
able to
enjoyed
do
it, didn't
that,
you,
yeah.
Phil?
So again, mate?
You enjoyed his performance, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. Do you
Yeah.
do some covers, don't you?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
What sort of covers you do?
So the main one is Love Will Tear Us Apart by Joy Division,
That's it.
which I love that song, and I actually played it live in Macclesfield, the home of Ian Curtis,
Wow, yeah.
an open mic night I played there. I've done a few OMD covers. I do an electronic version of House of the Rising Sun as well, which somebody said, I played it last year, and somebody said it sounded psychedelic, which is great. And somebody said, "Oh, you sound like
And you remix these, of course, right? To
I
make 'em
I
yours.
completely just play, learn all the parts,
Yeah.
put everything together. It's completely different style to the original, I think. So
Of course. That's the beauty.
yeah, and it's gone down quite well. So
Absolutely.
Well,
it's fun.
I mean, that's why people need to, know, like how to find you.
Yes.
Um,
So give
so
us your socials then, Tim.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Mistrust Music,
Yeah.
and I'm on YouTube Mistrust Music. Um,
your website.
my website mistrustmusic.co.uk. I have my own
This
website.
is the man who actually follows the rules. Stop changing your name.
Yeah, I'm the same
despite
name.
what
Yeah.
social media you're on.
That's right.
Because you want people to just know that's you.
That's
you.
it, yeah.
I mean, especially with a name like Mistrust. Where did that come from?
It's a long time ago when I was making songs, going back to making songs in my bedroom. Wanted a name, wanted something that'd stick. I've seen in an old movie somebody opening a book or a dictionary or something like that, opening pages at random with my eyes shut and putting my finger straight on the page there, and it just happened to be on the M's, on MIS, and then Mistrust. That sounds okay, and the name stuck, and I've kept that name for a long, long time.
Mistrust.
Yeah.
All right. So now that's how he came up with the name for that, but he can't seem to come up with the name for his new CD. All right. So Tim's new CD, Tim Pump, is coming out September, October this year.
Yeah.
So fairly soon. It'd be nice to have a name for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep on top of his socials.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to use
Yeah.
Insta for.
I've
You're supposed to
written-
go, hey, what should I
Yeah.
call this?
Well, I've written a few songs. I've actually I played a couple of the new songs off there, the rough version of the songs, at the Big Condo weekend, not the weekender, at Refreshment 37. Played a couple of songs there. It seemed to go down okay. So it's sort of the similar sort of style I've been doing now. There's the
Kind of a lot of different styles in it, and it's kind of like you're one of those that I got to put it all together, and then the title will come to me as
That's
opposed
right.
to
Yeah.
I have a title, and then I'll just have a bunch of songs.
Yeah.
And also you have an upcoming event very shortly, 2 weeks ago at the Liscard Festival.
Yeah, I'm playing
And
there.
it
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ele-
Over
ele-
there on the world.
11:45 a.m. I think in the Liscard Town Centre at the festival. That'll be great. Looking forward to that.
And if anybody has been a fan of Ice Age, them guys that was around way back in the day, it was really interesting. Is one of those guys actually went on to become a TV director
That's right.
and stuff
yeah.
like that. And he's probably the guy they can't get a hold of now. But they're looking at trying to do a bands reunited,
Yeah,
possibly.
that's right. Yeah.
You know, you said, hey,
Yeah,
the drummer
well-
had approached me, to try.
Yeah,
The
it was
question is,
great.
are you on a mission from God, Tim?
Oh,
Yeah, are you on a
absolutely.
mission from God
Absolutely, yeah.
to bring back the Ice
Yeah.
Age?
Yeah, we'll be there.
That's even better.
Yeah,
Hey,
I have to remember
you know what?
that.
I could
yeah.
be your promoter. You know what I mean?
Please do, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we'll be there.
But anyway, hey, listen, you never know. I mean,
Yeah.
like, once people start listening to your music, you're building your fan base, and all that kind of stuff, people bring back the Ice Age, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's all good.
Over there.
Tim, I want to thank you for joining me here in the studio.
Thank
Hope you had a good time and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
brilliant.
And everything, hope you guys were watching and listening and everything like that. I mean, it was kind of old school, but not. Because, I mean, I think it was raw, valuable information. So until, Phil stops laughing, that'll never happen. We out of here.
Thank you.